Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop chasing her, she suddenly starts chasing you? It's like magic, but it's not magic, it's psychology. Most men make the mistake of giving too much too soon and end up being invisible in her mind. Today, we're diving deep into the strategies that make her chase you like her life depends on it. This isn't about manipulation, it's about activating attraction, desire, and respect at the highest level. If you've ever felt ignored, undervalued, or like she's slipping away, pay attention because this will change the way she sees you forever. At the core of attraction lies value, not attention. And most men completely misunderstand this. They believe that giving constant affection, responding immediately, and being readily available will make a woman chase them. But the truth is the exact opposite. When a man truly knows his worth, when he understands his strengths, his principles, and the life he is building, he naturally emits a magnetic energy that cannot be forced or fabricated. Women sense this instantly. It is not in the words spoken, but in the presence, the confidence, and the unwavering sense of self. When you live from a place of self-respect, you are no longer seeking validation from her or anyone else. And this creates a vacuum she feels compelled to fill, not because she is being manipulated, but because she instinctively recognizes the value she is in front of. Value is not measured in gifts, compliments, or constant attention. It is measured in standards, in how you carry yourself, in the life you are leading, and in the way you treat yourself first and foremost. Many men confuse attention with affection and end up sacrificing their own value in hopes of keeping her interested. They text too much, reply too quickly, and bend over backward to avoid conflict or displeasure. But value cannot coexist with desperation. Desire is born when a woman sees that you are committed to your own growth, that you have passions, goals, and boundaries that are non-negotiable, and that your time is precious. When you operate from this mindset, you are no longer chasing. You are living a life so full and compelling that she must decide whether she wants to be a part of it. You become someone who is not defined by her approval, but someone whose life has meaning and direction independent of her attention. And this independence triggers the deepest forms of attraction, the kind that makes her invest emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically without any need for coercion or persuasion. Value also manifests in emotional strength. Women are drawn to men who can remain composed even when tested, who do not crumble at emotional highs and lows, and who can handle themselves with integrity and calm. When you allow your value to be visible through consistent behavior, discipline, and self-confidence, you are showing her a standard that cannot be achieved by mere words or superficial charm. She will find herself thinking about you when you are not around, replaying interactions in her mind, and feeling a pull towards someone who challenges her in the most subtle but powerful ways. Desire is not something you demand. It is something you evoke through the aura of self-worth, the silent but undeniable message that you are a prize not given lightly, a man whose presence adds significance to life simply because you know your own. Ultimately, creating value is about living authentically, setting boundaries, and refusing to compromise on who you are or what you deserve. When you embody this level of self-respect, her mind and heart are engaged in a game she cannot control. She is interacting with someone who is not dependent on her validation or availability. She starts thinking about you, replaying conversations, wondering what you are doing, and feeling an internal pull that grows stronger the more she senses that she cannot take your presence for granted. Scarcity also intensifies emotional investment. When a man consistently prioritizes his life, goals, and passions while still engaging with her meaningfully, she experiences a push and pull that activates her deepest desire to pursue. This is the psychology behind why people chase what they cannot fully control. When everything is freely given, the human mind loses interest. When something is partially out of reach, the brain and heart respond with heightened curiosity, longing, and anticipation. By being scarce in presence but abundant in value, you create a dynamic where she must choose to invest. She must work for connection, and she begins to place greater significance on every interaction, every message, every shared moment, because it is not taken for granted. It is important to understand that scarcity is not manipulation. It is a reflection of self-prioritization. Women respect men who are focused on their own lives, who are not dependent on her approval for happiness or fulfillment, and who have a lifestyle that demands attention elsewhere. By limiting availability while maintaining warmth, consistency, and authenticity, you establish a magnetic energy that is irresistible. Scarcity awakens desire because it reminds her that she is interacting with someone exceptional, someone who does not exist solely for her convenience, and this triggers a pursuit that is natural, profound, and unstoppable. Ultimately, scarcity builds attraction by creating a space where she has to step up, invest emotionally, and recognize the value that exists in your presence. And when done correctly, she begins chasing not because she is forced to, but because she feels a magnetic, undeniable need to engage and maintain a connection with someone who is worth her effort. Mystery is one of the most powerful tools in attraction. Yet it is often overlooked because many men believe transparency and total openness will create closeness. But the truth is revealing everything too soon diminishes desire. When a woman feels like she already knows you completely, there is no incentive for her mind to explore, no thrill in the chase, and no excitement in the connection. Mystery works because it creates intrigue, a sense that there is more beneath the surface waiting to be discovered. By holding certain aspects of your life, thoughts, and intentions close to yourself, while still sharing meaningful insights, you naturally ignite her curiosity, compelling her to invest attention and energy into uncovering who you truly are and what makes you different from anyone else she has ever known. Mystery also elevates perceived value. When a man is unpredictable in subtle ways, when he doesn't reveal every emotion, reaction, or plan immediately, it signals to her that he is complex and multidimensional. Women are drawn to complexity because it challenges their minds, engages their imagination, and activates a desire to connect on a deeper level. You are no longer just another person in her life. You become a puzzle, a story, a presence that she wants to experience fully but cannot fully grasp without investing effort. This psychological pull is incredibly powerful because it shifts the dynamic from one of passive interaction to active pursuit. She begins to notice patterns, to remember moments, to analyze your behavior. And in doing so, she starts to value every interaction more because each encounter feels unique and significant. Creating mystery requires balance. It is not about being secretive or distant in a way that makes you seem unavailable or detached. It is about being selective with what you reveal and when. By sharing your passions, your achievements, and your intentions gradually while leaving room for exploration and curiosity, you allow her to feel both connected and challenged. Every smile, every word, every thoughtful gesture becomes more impactful because it is layered with the unspoken knowledge that there is so much more to discover. Women are naturally drawn to the unknown, to the stories left untold. And when you embody this energy, she begins to chase not out of obligation, but out of genuine fascination and desire to uncover the full depth of who you are. Mystery also strengthens emotional engagement. When a man maintains subtle unpredictability in his life, whether through his choices, priorities, or reactions, She experiences a dynamic where her mind is constantly active, her attention is engaged, and her emotions are subtly stimulated. Curiosity triggers dopamine, anticipation, and a longing that cannot be manufactured through attention alone. She begins to seek opportunities to understand you better, to spend more time around you, and to create moments of connection that feel earned rather than freely given. In this way, mystery is not just a tactic, it is a natural amplifier of attraction, creating a magnetic tension that draws her closer while maintaining your independence. Ultimately, mystery sparks curiosity because it creates a sense of depth and intrigue that cannot be replicated by overexposure. And when executed with authenticity and subtlety, it transforms her desire into a pursuit that feels both irresistible and necessary, compelling her to chase. Not because she is told to, but because she is naturally invested in discovering every layer of your presence. Emotional control is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful aspects of attraction, and it is what separates men who are truly magnetic from those who are easily forgotten. Most people believe that showing every feeling, reacting to every situation, and expressing every frustration immediately will create closeness or intimacy. But the truth is that emotional instability diminishes respect and weakens desire. Women are instinctively drawn to men who can navigate life's challenges with calm, who do not allow every minor provocation or fluctuation in emotion to dictate their behavior, and who maintain an unwavering presence regardless of external circumstances. Emotional control is not suppression. It is mastery over impulses, a deep understanding of your triggers, and the ability to respond rather than react. And when this is embodied, it commands attention, admiration, and an almost magnetic desire that she cannot ignore. When a man can regulate his emotions, she perceives strength, security, and stability, all of which are irresistible qualities. Women are naturally attracted to energy that is steady, that feels safe yet powerful, and that creates an internal sense of alignment and balance. When you remain composed, even in the face of testing, arguments, or provocations, she begins to subconsciously realize that she is interacting with someone who cannot be easily swayed or manipulated. This stability triggers her respect, which is the foundation of her desire. Without respect, no amount of attention, compliments, or affection will make her chase or invest meaningfully. Emotional control signals a standard, a silent code that says you value yourself, your time, and your energy, and that she must rise to meet that standard if she wants to fully connect with you. Moreover, emotional control enhances attraction because it creates an element of challenge. Women are naturally drawn to energy that is not easily exhausted, that does not crumble under pressure, and that maintains dignity regardless of circumstances. When you respond calmly to drama or tension, when you prioritize reason over reactive emotion, she feels compelled to engage more deeply. Her mind begins to analyze, her attention sharpens, and her desire increases because she experiences a dynamic that is far more stimulating than volatility or overexpression. The more controlled your energy, the more she seeks it, the more she notices nuances in your behavior, and the more she becomes emotionally invested in someone who exudes patience, restraint, and intentionality. In every interaction, emotional control also communicates authenticity and self-mastery. It demonstrates that your actions are deliberate, that your life is guided by principles rather than impulses, and that you are not dependent on her responses for your sense of self-worth. This level of mastery creates a magnetic pull because she instinctively recognizes that your life is not defined by her, yet she has the potential to be a meaningful part of it. She begins to chase, to seek moments of connection, and to invest emotionally because she understands, even subconsciously, that your stability is rare, valuable, and worth pursuing. It is the kind of energy that transforms ordinary attraction into deep, unwavering desire, the kind that makes her feel the need to step up, to earn, and to consistently engage in ways she has not done before. Ultimately, emotional control commands respect because it signals strength, stability, and self mastery. And when practiced consistently, it naturally activates her desire to pursue, engage, and invest deeply without pressure, creating a dynamic where she chases not because she is coerced, but because she recognizes the value of someone who cannot be swayed by fleeting emotions. Nonchalance is a subtle yet extraordinarily powerful tool in attraction, and it is what transforms ordinary interactions into a magnetic dynamic where she feels compelled to chase you without realizing why. Most men believe that showing too much eagerness, responding immediately, or over investing in attention will make a woman stay, but the opposite is true. When you remain calm, composed, and unattached in your interactions, you create an energy of abundance that signals to her that your life is full, meaningful, and not dependent on her approval or engagement. Nonchalance is not indifference. It is a controlled, deliberate energy that communicates confidence, emotional independence, and a magnetic presence. And when this energy is maintained consistently, it forces her to step up, to pay attention, and to pursue with a sense of urgency. When you practice nonchalance, you create a powerful shift in the dynamic. Instead of constantly chasing her attention, you focus on your life, your goals, and your growth, which makes her feel the pull of your value even more intensely. She begins to notice the moments when you are present, the words you choose, the gestures that carry meaning, and the energy you bring into her life. Every interaction feels earned rather than freely given, and this subtle challenge triggers a psychological desire to pursue, to engage, and to connect more deeply. Women are naturally drawn to energy that is steady, composed, and independent. And when they sense that your attention is not guaranteed, they instinctively begin to prioritize, compete for, and chase your presence without conscious effort. Nonchalance also creates intrigue and anticipation, two powerful drivers of attraction. When you maintain an air of calm detachment, you become unpredictable in ways that spark curiosity and fascination. She begins to analyze your behavior, replay conversations, and imagine possibilities, which keeps her mentally engaged and emotionally invested. This is why nonchalance works so effectively. It creates a magnetic tension where her mind and heart are active, constantly assessing how she can secure your attention while you remain fully aligned with your own energy and priorities. She experiences the thrill of the chase, not because she is manipulated, but because she senses that your life operates independently of her. And in this gap between presence and absence, desire naturally grows stronger. Moreover, nonchalance communicates high standards without needing to state them explicitly. When you are selective with your time, calm in your responses, and intentional in your interactions, you show her that your attention is earned, not given freely. This creates a level of respect and fascination that is impossible to achieve through constant availability or overexpression of emotion. Women begin to see your value clearly because it is reflected in your behavior, your consistency, and your ability to remain unshaken regardless of circumstances. Every moment of engagement becomes meaningful. Every interaction carries weight, and she finds herself wanting to chase not because she is forced to, but because she recognizes that your energy, time, and presence are rare, valuable, and worth pursuing. Ultimately, Nonchalance turns the tables because it establishes independence, confidence, and emotional abundance, creating a dynamic where she feels compelled to chase, to invest, and to engage deeply while you maintain control over your own life and energy, allowing desire to grow naturally and relentlessly. Challenge is the secret ingredient that turns casual interest into relentless pursuit, and yet it is one of the most overlooked principles of attraction. Most men believe that being available, accommodating, or overly attentive will create lasting desire, but women are psychologically wired to pursue what feels slightly out of reach, what requires effort, and what cannot be acquired without intention. When you set subtle boundaries, maintain standards, and refuse to give your attention automatically, you create a magnetic dynamic that compels her to invest emotionally, mentally, and even physically in ways that she would not otherwise. Challenge is not cruelty. It is not manipulation. It is the conscious decision to value yourself first, to demand engagement on terms that reflect your worth, and to allow her to demonstrate the energy, focus, and commitment that attraction naturally requires. When a man introduces challenge into the dynamic, it activates the natural psychology of pursuit. Women are drawn to energy that is rare, deliberate, and not easily obtained because it triggers their desire to connect, to impress, and to prove worth. Every interaction becomes a small test, not in a manipulative sense, but as a reflection of your boundaries, standards, and self-respect. She begins to analyze her own behavior, noticing what she is willing to do to gain your attention, to create meaningful moments, and to align herself with your energy. This internal evaluation creates a deep investment because she is no longer a passive participant in the connection. She becomes an active pursuer, motivated not by fear or obligation, but by the natural tension created when something she wants exists just slightly beyond her immediate grasp. Challenge also fuels obsession because it engages her mind and emotions simultaneously. When you are not constantly available, when you maintain a life filled with purpose, passion, and focus, she experiences a subtle tension between what she wants and what she can effortlessly obtain. This tension sparks curiosity, amplifies emotional engagement, and generates a longing that grows stronger with each interaction, each absence, and each display of independence. She begins to replay moments, anticipate your next move, and invest thought and energy into understanding you on a deeper level. The challenge becomes exhilarating rather than frustrating, and this is where desire transforms into obsession. Because she experiences the thrill of pursuit combined with the recognition that she is vying for someone whose presence is valuable and rare. Furthermore, challenge communicates your standards without needing to articulate them. When you prioritize your time, maintain independence, and do not bend to immediate demands or expectations, you set a tone that elevates your value. She begins to recognize that every interaction, every smile, every word, and every moment with you is earned, and the effort required increases her emotional and mental investment exponentially. Challenge creates an aura of significance around your presence, and this makes her feel compelled to chase with intention, to invest deeply, and to remain engaged because she senses that she is participating in a connection that is meaningful, rewarding, and aligned with someone who holds himself to a higher standard. Ultimately, challenge fuels obsession because it activates her deepest desire to pursue what is slightly out of reach, to invest effort in moments of connection, and to align with someone whose value cannot be taken for granted, creating a dynamic where she chases relentlessly while you maintain the calm confidence of someone who knows his worth and refuses to settle for anything less than genuine engagement,